If you are 60 and still crying over wasted years, listen to my forgiveness. My precious child, come and sit with me. Close your eyes for just a moment and take a deep, slow breath. Let the frantic pace of the world fade away. I know exactly how heavy your heart feels right now, and I know why. You are 60 years old, perhaps even older, and instead of feeling the golden, peaceful warmth of a life well lived, you are sitting alone in the cold shadows of regret. You look back at the decades that have slipped through your fingers, and your eyes fill with tears. You weep over what you bitterly call your wasted years. You mourn the choices you made in your youth, the paths you did not take, and the precious time that seems to have vanished like smoke in the wind. I see the quiet, daily agony in your soul. I see how you look in the mirror and wonder where that young, hopeful person went, only to find them replaced by someone carrying the heavy, invisible chains of a past that cannot be changed. But I am here right now, speaking directly to your weary heart, to tell you that you are deeply, infinitely loved, and your tears have never been hidden from me. You have carried this crushing burden of what if for far too long. What if I had chosen a different career path? What if I had been a more patient parent, a more attentive spouse, a more faithful friend? What if I hadn't made that one terrible, foolish mistake that altered the course of everything? These questions are ruthless. They haunt you in the midnight hours, when the house is completely silent and the distractions of the day have vanished. The world moves forward, but you feel helplessly anchored to a past you cannot rewrite. You feel the relentless, unforgiving ticking of the clock, a constant reminder that time is running out, and a quiet panic sets in your chest. You think that because you are in your 60s or beyond, the story is essentially over. The ink is dry on your failures, and it is simply too late. My beloved, you are so incredibly hard on yourself. You judge yourself with a harshness and a cruelty that I have never, ever used toward you. I want you to know that I have seen every single one of your secret tears. When you hid in your room and wept silently so that no one else in the house would know your pain, I was sitting right beside you on the edge of the bed. When you drove alone in your car, gripping the steering wheel and letting the tears fall because the weight of your regrets felt like a physical stone crushing your chest, my hand was gently resting on your shoulder. I know the profound exhaustion that comes from fighting a war inside your own mind every single day. You are so very tired. You are tired of pretending you are okay when you are breaking inside. You are tired of smiling for your children, your grandchildren, or your neighbors, while privately, deeply grieving the years you feel the locusts have eaten. You have been walking barefoot through a jagged desert of your own making, punishing yourself for not being perfect, for not knowing decades ago what you know now. Let me break that heavy chain of guilt right now, in this very moment. It is perfectly normal to look back and see the flaws, the torn threads, and the mistakes in the tapestry of your life. It is human to wish you could go back and rewrite certain painful chapters. But I never asked you to be the flawless author of your life. I only asked you to let me hold the pen. You have carried the punishing weight of those past decades as if you alone are responsible for redeeming them. But redemption is my specialty, not yours. The burden of the past that you are carrying was never meant for your fragile shoulders. The guilt you wake up with every single morning is a cruel thief, stealing the precious, beautiful moments I am giving you right now. You feel like you have wasted your life, but I see a life that has been beautifully, painfully, and miraculously human. I see the times you stumbled and fell, yes, but I also see the times you bravely got back up when no one thought you had the strength. I see the love you gave, even when you were broken yourself. I see the quiet sacrifices you made that went entirely unnoticed by the world, but were celebrated loudly in my kingdom. Do not call wasted what I am actively using to shape your eternal soul. You are 60, and you think the best is behind you, but you do not see the horizon the way I do. You are deeply weary, my child. Your spirit is bruised, and your heart is heavy with the unrelenting ghosts of yesterday. Rest here with me. Lay down the heavy, rusted armor of your regrets. I understand how incredibly tired you are, and I am here to hold you as you finally exhale. My child, as we sit together now, let us look gently at how you came to carry such a heavy burden. I want you to understand that I do not see your past as a series of deliberate failures. I see the anatomy of a heart that was simply trying to survive a demanding, relentless world. When you were young, you did not set out to build walls of regret or to carry backpacks filled with the heavy stones of guilt. You started your journey with open hands, a trusting heart, and a hopeful spirit. But life happens with a breathtaking, terrifying speed. The days turned into weeks, the weeks into years, and the years blurred into decades before you could even catch your breath to ask if you were heading in the right direction. You were busy. You were so incredibly busy. The world demanded your time, your energy, your youth, and your focus. There were bills to pay, children to raise, homes to maintain, and 1,000 pressing emergencies that pulled you away from the quiet stillness where my voice is best heard. In the middle of that blinding rush, your peace was slowly stolen from you. It did not happen overnight. It was a gradual, silent theft. Every time you compromised a small piece of your joy to meet someone else's expectation, every time you swallowed a deep disappointment instead of bringing it to me, another heavy brick was added to the wall around your heart. You built those walls, not out of rebellion, but out of a desperate need to protect yourself from being broken by a harsh world. You thought you were protecting your fragile heart, but those walls only served to trap you inside with your silent regrets. I saw the moments when you compromised your deepest dreams because the practical, everyday demands of life were too loud to ignore. I watched as the vibrant colors of your youthful ambitions faded into the gray, exhausting routine of mere survival. The modern world is a loud, chaotic place that praises exhaustion as a virtue and treats stillness as a weakness. It told you that your worth was directly tied to what you could produce, how much you could earn, and how flawlessly you could hold your family together during a crisis. And when you inevitably stumbled, because you are wonderfully, beautifully human and not an infallible machine, the world was remarkably quick to point out your flaws. But worse than the world's judgment was the cruel voice of your own inner critic. Over the years, you absorbed that harshness. You began to believe the toxic lie that your mistakes defined your entire existence. You lost yourself in the relentless noise. You lost the gentle, quiet rhythm of walking intimately with me in the cool of the day. But even in those frantic, exhausting decades when you felt entirely disconnected from me, I never once took my eyes off you. I was walking through the darkest, most frightening valleys right beside you, even when you could not feel my presence. You see, long ago, I made a profound promise to you, a promise that has not expired simply because your hair has turned gray or your steps have slowed. I told you, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul." My beloved child, I am still that shepherd, and you are still my deeply cherished sheep. I see that your soul is completely parched, wandering through a dry, barren desert of what-ifs and if-onlys. You have been trying to find life-giving water in the empty, broken wells of your past, trying to fix things that are entirely out of your control. But the past is a dry well. It cannot refresh you. It can only leave you thirsty, exhausted, and bitter. The fierce worries of this life, the ongoing financial struggles, the painful relationship conflicts, the terrifying health scares, and the silent, aching loneliness have been like thick thorns choking the life out of your beautiful spirit. You have spent 60 years, maybe more, acting as the lonely shepherd of your own life, carrying the heavy staff and the rod, trying to ward off the vicious wolves of failure and disappointment all by yourself. No wonder you are so incredibly tired. No wonder you cry when you look back at the winding road. You were never designed to carry the staff of the shepherd. You were designed only to follow my voice. You built walls of isolation because you thought absolutely nobody could understand the specific, complicated mess of your personal history. You convinced yourself that your wasted years were a permanent, shameful stain on your eternal soul. but the walls you built cannot keep my radical grace out. The time has come to stop running from the intimidating shadows of your own history. The time has come to let the Good Shepherd lead you back to the quiet, healing waters you have been desperately thirsting for all these long decades. My beautiful child, now that we have looked together at the heavy stones you carry, I want to show you something truly miraculous. I want to reveal to you exactly how my grace operates. The world has taught you a very cruel, unrelenting lie about time. The world tells you that time is merely a shrinking currency, and that because you are in your 60s or beyond, your account is nearly empty. Society whispers that it is simply too late to make a beautiful, meaningful change, too late to find true peace, and too late to matter. The world looks at a calendar and rigidly declares that your story has already been written, that the permanent ink is dry on your countless mistakes, and that you must now sit quietly in the fading twilight of what you call a wasted life. But I want you to listen to my voice above all the noise. I am the eternal creator of time, and my infinite economy of grace looks absolutely nothing like the ruthless, punishing clocks of this earth. You see, my unfailing love for you is not bound by the hours, the days, or the decades you feel you have tragically lost. You look back at the years you spent wandering away from me, the years you spent angry, or desperately anxious, or deeply distracted by the demands of the world, and you see a tragic, irredeemable waste. You look at your past and see barren, scorched ground where nothing good could ever grow. But I am the Lord of the harvest, and I want to tell you a profound truth. I can bring forth a miraculous, breathtakingly beautiful garden from the very soil of your deepest regrets. The silent tears you have cried over those wasted years have not been ignored. They have actually watered the ground for a completely new, incredibly vital season of your life. Do not ever tell me that it is too late for you. It is never, ever too late in my kingdom. Remember the thief on the cross beside me? He had only a few agonizing hours left in his entire earthly existence. Yet in a single, beautiful moment of absolute surrender, those final fleeting hours became the doorway to his eternal redemption and perfect peace. You still have days, months, and perhaps many years ahead of you, and I promise you that the time that remains, no matter how short or how long the world perceives it to be, is more than enough for my perfect, enduring peace to take profound root in your weary heart. You have spent so much of your precious life trying frantically to earn love, trying desperately to prove your worth to people who could not see it, and trying to independently fix an unfixable past. I am asking you to completely stop trying. I am offering you a divine, life-altering exchange right now, in this exact moment. Hand me that incredibly heavy, rusted backpack of guilt and shame. Give me the crushing, repetitive memories of the times you failed your loved ones or yourself. Give me the bitter, aching disappointment of the grand dreams that never materialized the way you planned. Hand it all over to me. In return, I am offering you my absolute, unconditional, and overwhelming forgiveness. It is a forgiveness so vast, so unimaginably deep, and so complete that it washes away every single dark stain of yesterday. When I look at you right now, I do not see the compounded mistakes of a 60-year-old person. I see my precious beloved child, washed entirely clean, radiantly beautiful, and completely worthy of my eternal love. You falsely believe that because your physical energy is fading, your divine purpose is fading too. But my power is made absolutely, magnificently perfect in your physical weakness. The profound, quiet wisdom you have gathered through over 60 years of intense joy and shattering sorrow is a magnificent, priceless treasure in my hands. The gentle spirit that has finally replaced the fiery, stubborn pride of your youth is a beautiful, deeply comforting gift to those around you. I want to actively use this golden, reflective season of your life to show you a depth of intimacy with me that you were simply too busy and too distracted to experience in your younger, more frantic years. The heavy silence of your house does not have to be a lonely, echoing void anymore. I want it to become a sacred, intimate sanctuary where you and I finally walk closely together every single day. I am redeeming your time. I am miraculously restoring the years that the locusts have eaten. The chapters that remain in your earthly book will not be written with the heavy, dark, condemning ink of regret, but with the brilliant, golden, liberating light of my redeeming grace. You do not need to carry the agonizing past for even one more step. Let it fall completely at my feet. Breathe in my profound, unconditional forgiveness right now. Let the warm, healing light of my grace wash completely over your tired, aching soul, melting away the bitter frost of the wasted decades. You are forgiven, my sweet child. You are entirely, beautifully, completely, and eternally forgiven. Rest in that profound truth today. My precious child, now that you have laid down that heavy burden of your past, we must look forward to the unwritten days ahead. I do not want you to simply experience a fleeting moment of relief today and then pick up those same stones of regret tomorrow. We are going to walk an entirely new path together, a path of profound, enduring peace. Because I know how easily the chaotic worries of the world can creep back into your mind, I want to give you a gentle, daily plan to keep your heart anchored in my love. You have spent 60 years practicing the painful habit of looking backward with sorrow. Starting today, I am going to teach you how to look forward with unshakable hope. The very first step is remarkably simple, yet it requires true courage. When you wake up tomorrow morning, before your feet even touch the floor, and before your mind races through the daunting list of things you cannot control, I want you to simply say, my name. Just whisper softly, Jesus, I am giving you today. Do not start your morning by mentally reviewing the mistakes of yesterday or mourning the decades you feel you wasted. Yesterday is sealed forever by my absolute forgiveness. Today is a pristine, magnificent blank page that we will write together. By giving me your first waking moment, you are consciously choosing to let the Good Shepherd lead you to those quiet, restoring waters. You are intentionally choosing my peace over your habitual panic. The second step is to actively practice the beautiful, liberating art of self-forgiveness. When those old, familiar voices of guilt try to whisper in your ear, and they will try, especially in the quiet, lonely hours of the night, I want you to answer them boldly with my truth. When the enemy cruelly reminds you of the years you lost or the times you failed, I want you to gently but firmly say out loud, I am entirely forgiven by my Savior, and my past no longer dictates my eternity. You must learn to show yourself the exact same profound, unconditional compassion that I have freely poured over you today. You are a new creation in my eyes. Stop demanding a painful, impossible perfection from yourself. I only require your open, willing heart. The third step is to look around your daily life with completely new eyes. You may incorrectly think your world has become very small now that you are older, but I have planted you exactly where you are for a magnificent purpose. There is someone in your life right now, perhaps a lonely neighbor, a grandchild seeking direction, or an old friend who desperately needs the quiet, hard-earned wisdom and gentle love that only you can provide. Do not hide your beautiful light because you falsely feel you are too old or too tired to make a difference. Your emotional scars are glorious proof of your survival and of my sustaining grace. Use the profound empathy you have gained through your own intense suffering to comfort someone else who is hurting. In giving away love, you will find your own heart miraculously healed. Finally, I want you to talk to me throughout your day, not with formal, stiff religious prayers, but with the comfortable intimacy of a dearest friend. Tell me when your body aches. Tell me when a specific, sudden memory makes you sad. Tell me about the simple joy of a blooming flower outside your window or a warm cup of coffee in the morning sun. I care deeply about every single detail of your day. The heavy silence in your home is now permanently broken by my constant, comforting presence. You are never walking alone again. I am holding your right hand tightly, and I will not let you stumble back into the dark valleys of despair. We are walking together into the brilliant light of my unfailing grace. My beloved, your best, most peaceful days are not behind you. They are beginning right now, in this very breath. If you are finally ready to leave the crushing weight of your past behind and walk firmly in my healing grace, I invite you to make a simple powerful declaration today. Leave your burden in the comments below. Type, "I receive your peace, Lord," and let the world know you are choosing joy. And please, subscribe to this channel so that we can continue to walk together, side by side, every single day. I love you, my child. Go in my perfect peace.